When I tell y'all I really want to get out here and cut this grass again before it starts going crazy, I do. But what I hopped on here for real quick was because number one, my finger is hurting. I do not know what I did last night or how I laid on my finger to cause such discomfort. It just feels like it feels like it wanted to break, but it didn't. So yeah. Yeah, feels like it wanted to break, but it didn't. But it's like sore. It's sore when I move it a certain type of way, like when I kind of move it away from the other fingers, opposite direction. That wind is kind of took out today. A little breeze. Yeah. But anyway, I was a boss trying to get in here. I just don't here to say, I'm feeling like it's becoming a matter of just like, really, I'm hoping non-existent, but like definitely don't matter to me. But I still gotta sort through and process my stuff. Just to be honest, just take it every day, take it step by step or whatever. I'm almost seeing why old girl from when I was younger, who I placed one phone call to and didn't think it was something big or major or whatever. But placed a phone call and then I didn't think too much more about it or whatever. But I do remember that I did it, and I do admit that I did this. Um, like I said, when I was younger, I was like 15 years old. And I'm now 35. This is 20 years later, and this stuff is still. Oh, there's my Q-tips. But this stuff is still trying to like show up, manifest in my life. The the actions that I did back then, still trying to, like, I want to say catch up, but like, I mean, I guess that is what it is in a sense, but haunt me, torment me, or whatever. So yeah, that was 25 years ago. Again, I can't never say I made good on whatever happened, but I definitely apologized, and asked for forgiveness, when I came to a crazy realization in my life that what you thought you did back then. This is why I talk about when we have those shootings and things like this, or just anything, kind of tragic or whatever. You do not never know what type of person a so-called elder was back in the day, or even on the day, something could have happened. You don't know what it is or what it was or whatever. And again, it very well could have been an innocent person or whatever. But when I say God knows the details, He knows the details. And me, I'm just one of the probably the few that will admit, and I'm gonna just be honest, admit some things, because everything is still not everybody's business, and I thank God for that part. But for me personally, ooh, well, go in then. I mean, it's supposed to be 95 degrees today, but this wind is not playing right now. But yeah, everything ain't everybody's business. So I've talked to God, and then I submitted to Him and let Him sort it out the way that He chooses to, and He knows how to determine whether you're truly repentant or you just you still think you gonna get away with stuff like that or whatever. And so I'm just thankful, for the opportunity to apologize to somebody too, and ask for forgiveness while I'm still alive, and and kind of try to move forward from whatever may have happened in the past. But when I tell you that one phone call I placed, honey, And then the actions I took afterwards, but the phone call I placed and stuff like that, that stuff tried to still start show up in my life. And I'm just gonna kind of give the example. So I placed a phone call, this kind of strong arming something, a situation, like I said back in the day. And I was basically allowed to, of course, by the dude who I was dealing with, because I didn't have the phone number to the person, I didn't have the phone number. He never gave me the phone number. I don't think. I think we just called or whatever from a cell phone or something that he may have had. And shit, he had a cell phone when he was young, because that was cell phone. I don't think I called from. I don't know. I can't remember. But we got older. We went to high school. I was already 15, so in high school, but I was at a different high school. So by the time I rolled back around and ended up at the same high school as the girl, this was like 2 or 3 years later. So I guess for a young person, that can still be real fresh. But I wasn't thinking about that no more. I was still had some involvement with the dude or whatever, but barely. I was trying to move on. And I mean, and that thing just, that's fast to me for it to cycle back around within like a year or two time frame or whatever after the fraud or whatever was committed. I don't want to call it a crime, but well, whatever. Um, and I would see her or whatever, and she would just act. I guess she would act like she was kind of cool with me or whatever, and then but she was still telling other people about certain stuff, and I just be like, at that time, I was not thinking about that no more because I had done moved on. I was trying to gather the pieces of my life, and I think it was like we already been like me and dude. Even if I did do something, mean to you, I'm already getting back because I was dealing with facing, criminal type charges and stuff like that. When I was young, and it was abuse and all that between me and dude. So I'm like, okay. And of course, I didn't look at it like, oh, this is showing up in my life because of directly linked and tied to whatever I did regarding him. I didn't look at it like that. I look at it like that now. But yeah, all of that. So I'm like, okay. And then I would feel like, why is she even still talking about that? Why is she thinking about that? Like literally, it was like, oh, but didn't know how much that affected that person. Still to this day, don't know how deeply that affected that person. That she never, when I did apologize and stuff like that, she never sat down and was like, oh, well, this is how I felt when we did this, that, and the third. And but I could tell something because she was talking to other people that was like in my circle or surrounding me or whatever about what I had done. And I was just like, and I wasn't talking to her like that, like I wasn't her friend or nothing like that. So I didn't, again, I didn't feel the need to have no type of conversation. That one going in. I didn't feel the need to have no type of conversation with her about it or nothing like that. On this, of course, today, if she ever wanted to sit down and talk to me about the details of how I made her feel and this and the third, I definitely wouldn't mind. And I'll let God do it. I mean, I'm sure I could probably find her on social media, reach out or whatever. But if we ever see each other, I'll be like, girl, let's sit down and talk about what happened and how I made you feel or how, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just me. If I come to the realization, some people come to the realization and they still not gonna give a damn. But that's helping me. My situation from back then is helping me to try to be more understanding to people like that. I didn't say I'm getting up close and personal to them. I'm just saying be more understanding that once they do what they do, they not thinking about that. Most of the time, half the time, or more often, they're not thinking about what they did towards you. And for me personally, this was at the time, it was me being selfish and self-gratifying and stuff like that. So I was not even thinking that another person was even involved, or I didn't think that their feelings was even involved. I didn't care. If I thought it for one split second, and then that's it. Or if I knew. And so that's definitely helping me to continue to forgive people who do whatever, who have done things to me. And it's definitely a process. It's a process for me. Because I be having to sort through, like, why would they do something like that to me? And sometimes you got to realize sometimes it's not even done toward, again, it's not done towards you. It does affect you. It's not even done towards you. It's done because they they have a selfishness. Sometimes it is done deliberately to hurt and offend you. Now, I've seen cases where, but, and in some of my cases, definitely. But yeah, if you ever want to sit down and talk or whatever, I would definitely, be open to that or whatever. Hear all the feelings, all the, oh girl, I felt like you was a scandalous thought, BITC, all this, whatever. And long as you told me that's what you felt like I was, and not you are a, because that's not what I am and who I am. That's when I will probably get up and leave the conversation. But 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 so yeah, thinking about that or whatever, and I'm like, hey, this is 20 years later, and even if it's not physically happening, and which to me it still kind of is, but emotionally and spiritually and all types of other ways, it's still, and mentally, it's still affecting me. And this was what I did, so it's still affecting me. And again, not a lot of people will sit down and analyze it like that, and not a lot of people ask God for that grace and that understanding to sit down and be able to come to that type of understanding that, oh, what you did 20 years ago, it's still showing up and it's still affecting you today. It's just consequences of your actions. So I don't know, man. That's the way to look at it. But with that said, yeah, I'm still sorting through, the things that the boys' so-called dad did with me, even though he ain't physically pretty much been here. Well, okay, the last physical time that he was here was 2019. Was it 2019? Hold on. Yes, 2019, um, June of 2019, and that was it. And that was it. Then, of course, I seen him in September, but he wasn't over here of 2019. Then after that, I seen him in January of 2020, and that's what I'll talk about. But yeah, I seen him after that, and that was it. So that's been definitely, I ain't seen him unless he's been riding by and I just kind of caught a glimpse. But I haven't seen him since January of 2020, face to face personally or anything like that. Or any type of indications. So, and been gone, so that was 2020. I'm gonna just say 2019 is the last time I seen him. So we can, again, come June, it'll be 3 years physically gone, but still dealing with this, still trying to gather the pieces and stuff like that. I don't know why they be doing all this deep in this horn. Must be something going on up there. In the other dimension. But yeah, it'd be 3 years and I'm still dealing with that. Of course, so that's 3 years on one thing. And there's 20 years that I'm still dealing with something that I did 20 years ago. And still, again, just thankful that God is allowing me to sort through it instead of me just, oh, I did something and I didn't, or just forget that I did something to somebody, or that I, even if it was what I did, one little thing or whatever the case may be. You did something that affected somebody else, and then it affected other people as well, because if that person is bothered, then people that care for them is gonna feel the type of way as well. So anywho, so like I said, thank God for a chance to have at least attempted to make it right. You can never go back and undo those things, but to attempt to make it right. Ooh, it is windy. I like that, this type of weather though. But to attempt to make it right, and that's that, and a lot of people. So I don't even really count on people trying to come make stuff back right with me and this, that, and the third. If it happens, great. If it doesn't. But I do want them to get it right with God. I really do. In this moment, especially. It's other times when I really be thinking, Lord, I don't care if they never get it right with you, because they deserve whatever is going to happen to them or what's coming to them. I really do be feeling like that. But I think overall, I really genuinely, honey, it's real out here. And I really want people to, you don't want to let the enemy overtake you. You definitely don't want to die. I don't know nothing about dying in sin because I'm still alive, but you don't want to die in sin, but you don't even want to live in sin. Like you don't, I don't. I do not want to do that. That stuff is not a joke or a game. And I'm definitely lifting up my daughter right now. You know, I don't know if anything she got going on, but I'm just continuously let the blood be applied to her life. Um, but I have my feelings and stuff still. So fast forward to me seeing him in January of 2020. I saw him at the courthouse, and you know, I just was like, I know he's not gonna be this bold to do this. And he didn't give a damn. I mean, he gave somewhat of a thought to it for a second, but after that, he was like, forget about it. I just gotta, I'm just gonna do it. I could tell he cared slightly because he walked away from the girl when I seen him and the girl at the courthouse. But then after that, he realized he couldn't get away from her. And I mean, I'm gonna see you and see what's going on because I seen him walking up the steps when it's coming up, you know. So I seen him before he seen me and this, that, and third. And then when he came, he started walking away, and I'm like, no, ain't no need in walking away, baby. You caught, you already know. We was at the courthouse, so of course we don't finna cut the damn food. You'll be a fool to cut the food at the courthouse. You'll be a stupid fool, but you'll get this work, boy. But but I still emailed him on that day and everything, just let him know. I felt the type of way because it happened, but I felt the type of way because he had just in 2018, 2018, well yeah, 2018, and in 2000, some in 2019, but definitely in 2018, he was telling me it's not that deep and uh something about I don't have sex with her like that and this and that. And I'm like, he's sitting here telling me this like him having sex with her one time wasn't more than enough. You must think I'm crazy. No, baby, but you're not understanding how you doing it one time was entirely too much. And again, then I didn't go back to in that moment, but I can think back to, oh, I did this and I had sex with somebody that one time and it, you know what I'm saying? And of course, I feel like I was young and I was a child, but I still I knew somewhat better enough to know that the dude was, you know, he had a girlfriend or whatever with his girlfriend was somebody else. So even in immature terms, you know, somebody got a girlfriend, you're not supposed to be bothering with them. Of course, when you're grown, whatever, and you married, you're not supposed to be bothering them. So yeah, me and him was together. We was involved. Deep. It was deep for us. It was deeply involved, and he knew it. But again, his mom, you know, of course, now to see, came and caused all that turmoil and all that that craziness or whatever. And I think, of course, confusion to make him feel like, oh, I got somebody else for you or whatever, so you can just walk away from that. But okay. Anyway, I might as well let that go too. My little laugh I just did, like, okay. But, you know, not, it's let it go, but you forgive. But I have not forgotten that. And it just is what it is. And that's just part of the process that, you know, you remember some of the crazy stuff that happened to you. And it happened, and you gotta just, you know, keep going or whatever. Um, so yeah, like I said, 2018 he told me all that, and then like in 2019 of January he was on his way, and then he never showed. So I guess that was the indicating that it was time for us to. I thought it was separation, and that oh we're gonna get back right. And I'm sitting here saying still today I don't want to get back right with. I want to get right with God, but I don't want to get back so to speak right with Him because I'm good, and that's why I be feeling like I don't care if this nigga go wrong for the rest of his life. I'm done. That's it. But I do gotta know that he's tied to my sons and stuff like. I don't want to say tied. Lord knows, untied. But you know, he's related to my sons, blood related. So that comes with a whole lot. But yeah. And as a mother of them, I would definitely want them to be in right standing. I want them to get right now. To me, his mom, she's dead or whatever. I don't know if she ever, even before she closed her eyes, wanted her son to get in right standing. I don't think she did. It doesn't appear that she did. I think she was trying to struggle to get herself right. And, you know, when I look at it like that, I understand it like, dang, if you're struggling to get yourself right, you definitely can't look out for the best interest of somebody else. you know, even down again to your last breath. But I don't know. I don't know. Only God knows the details or whatever. But me as their mother, my boys' mother and my daughter, like, oh no, I don't want y'all coming and stealing and snuffing out their joy, their peace, their life, their lively. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, however they God allows them to live. And so, you know, that's what I'm on. But yeah, in January when he didn't show that time, then he did come in like February, I think, or March. February or March, something like that, maybe May, because we linked up together. He wanted to do a video together, having sex or whatever, and in the daytime or something like that. I might still have it. I don't know. And that's what he was telling me too. He was like, "Yeah, we gonna be able to have sex in the daytime." And I'm just sitting here. I mean, we have before him saying that we've had sex in the daytime. We've been together or whatever, but it was mostly done at night. And I just wanted more, like just the freedom of having sex in the daytime and us being together and him not. And it to me it happened like that. Now he might have other reasons, but to me it happened like that because his relatives and stuff was across the street. See, I got to talk about all this to get to whatever it is. But his relatives was across the street. But it's like they can't see in my house, so I wouldn't worry about them. But they could see whether or not he was over here in the daytime or the nighttime. And so, you know, I guess if they had something to say, you know, it affected him. And I still feel like even in this moment, oh well, you know, you'll let that affect you that much. But there's things I gotta understand that I have my self conscious ways as well that I allow what other people think to try to make me act a certain type of way or whatever. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm being honest with myself um and God already knows this, so that's a good thing for me or whatever, just to try to sort that out. So, you know, maybe you self conscious, maybe you felt embarrassed or whatever. Or I don't know. I don't even want to say it's embarrassed, but it could be. But it's just, I know he did tell me one time I don't like my family getting in my business. And it's like, okay, but, but you don't mind acting in front of them when you think it's going to be trying to put a spotlight on me and make me look crazy. So, no, you going to look crazy first for sure. You must be out your mind. You're going to look crazy and you might absolutely be crazy when it comes to me because I'm not going to do that. Um, so anyway, yeah. So 2019 came January, February, we made the video. Then he came. Oh, he did come in April, and that's the time that you know tries to like continue to manifest in my life, and it's like you know it's just so upsetting or whatever. It bothers me even just to see the number or the date or whatever. So I'm like, you said it wasn't that deep. What are you doing? So you lied. So you're a liar. Oh, that's what we doing, lying. Oh, okay. And see, for me, if I was immature minded still, but even still in my mature mindset, I still feel like, oh, niggas, I don't want to call it is what it was. It's nigga type behavior, but that's how you feel. Niggas leading by this type of example. Oh, this what neglect's gonna do then. So ain't no need of y'all getting mad until you shape up, until you straighten up and lead by positive example or the example that you want to happen in your life. Then this is what's gonna continue to happen. And so on this smart scale, I mean on this small scale and on a large scale, y'all gonna wonder why females is just supposed is out of line, not supposedly, but getting out of line or whatever. Um, Kevin Samuels Jr. No, I'm just playing. I don't even want to go there at all. I'm just saying something. Don't pay me no mind when it comes to that, because I'm not an expert when it comes to him. I did not watch his videos. I did see some things, and you know, of course, it turned me off. I did try to listen and hear him out on one or two, but yeah, I just wasn't with that. You could just tell, okay, maybe he is sounding like he's speaking some kind of truth or whatever, or some type of fact, should I say, not even truth, but facts. But he's living a certain type of life behind closed doors, so it doesn't matter. So anyway, so yeah, and then when he came in April. It was some foul stuff going on because it was the girl's actual birthday that he came. I didn't know, but it was her birthday that he came over here, and he like to do some stuff like try to switch. Oh, let me. He feels like him having sex with. I guess he never said this, but I feel like he feels like him having sex with this person on this person's birthday, it'll give that person their power, or stuff like that. He thinks stuff like that or whatever. And I just be like, boy, that's you childish and scandalous, and it's devilish, it's demonic. It was literal demonic stuff, and it was demonic thinking and actions. Okay, so after that, then he came in June around his birthday, and then and then that's when he was evidently he was filled with her or whatever. He was just going back and forth, but he was just slowly, but what I'm saying, going back and forth. I didn't see him from April. I did hear from him in May. I may have seen him, but I don't think so. And that's in May. I think that's when he told me um, somebody shut down what we was doing. I'm like, what? Who shut down? What was we doing that we wasn't supposed to be doing? And somebody's able to shut anything down. What are you talking about? So he just kept trying to, I guess, ease certain stuff on me or whatever. And then in June, when I seen him, June the 23rd, I think. And then like 2 days later, I realized the girl was calling my phone and stuff like that or whatever. But yeah, June the 23rd. And I was like, well, you got babies and this, that, and the third, or you got another child or whatever. He was like, I got 4 kids. He just kept saying that. I got 4 kids. Now, I don't know if he was lying or not, but it seemed like he was telling the truth. He just was, I don't know if he was just trying to maybe he had a child on the way and he was just trying to make it disappear by speaking that he only had 4 kids or whatever. So yeah, so as far as I'm concerned, 2019 and going into 2020, well, 2019, he said 4 kids. Then he turned around at the end of that year. He was like, "We gonna raise our 6 kids or something like that, 7 kids," and trying to like get under my skin. He was saying that in front of. This is when he was saying this stuff in front of. I guess he felt safe or whatever in front of his so-called aunt. And I'm like, what? Because he was sitting over there across the street when he yelled that out. But when he was up close and personal, he didn't say that. He wasn't saying none of that. But then when he stepped with somebody, he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna raise us." And I was like, "What?" And he did mention something about he was gonna He said not the week. He told me in my inbox about the weekend or something like that, or whatever. Set something up, and then he told me, what did he tell me? Then he mentioned it out loud, like, oh, I don't know if he said he was gonna take them or whatever. I forget. But anyway, so yep, that was 2019. That was the last I heard. And when I actually seen him with her at a courthouse, of course, it wasn't, I didn't see them out and about. Not to say that they couldn't have been or whatever, or probably what, but at a courthouse, because she's getting ready to pay his child support so he doesn't go to jail. um, which, of course, paid his child support, so it trickles over to my household and this, that, and the third. But I also had a job. I had gotten a job during that year as well, in March of that year. Um, and so, I was getting my own money or whatever. But anyway, she paid that or whatever, and I'm guessing on behalf of all 3 of his other children that he had already had, and helped him get it. Well, he went to jail anyway, but he got bailed out. I don't know if he actually went upstairs, but I know he got arrested. He had a mugshot taken, this, that, and the third, and then he had to come back around. They arrested him or whatever, and then he came back around like 2 something. And I came back there. I came back down there because I was doing jury duty or whatever. Like, see, they didn't even know I was up down there doing that, and but I had to go to court as well. So I was like, okay. That's why I came back down there or whatever, doing other little stuff. And then when I came down there, I seen him. I was walking up the steps, and at the same time that I was walking up the steps to go back to the courtroom or wherever I had to go to jury duty thing, I seen him either like helping her put her jacket on or take it off or something. No, put it on or something like that. And standing there basically like she owned him in my eye, in my opinion. And I just was, I didn't really feel brokenhearted in that moment, but I kind of felt bad for him in that moment. Like, damn, that's what you got to deal with. But I also was like, but damn, this is the dude who, I've been with for a decade pretty much. And now I'm seeing him like this in this aspect, and it's not me and him. And he was bold enough to show up to this courthouse and stuff like that. And whatever. But So, that lets you know that your stuff will catch up to you. Got caught up to him where I had to see a certain, at least by appearance, type of fact. I won't even say it's the truth, but I'll just say, because I still haven't came to the point where I'm like, oh, that's the truth of the matter, that they're supposed to be together. And I'm not even saying that I'm supposed to be with him. I feel like I could say it, but I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying I don't believe that she needs to be with him, because you just try to bail him out of some trouble and you don't know what all he had done. You don't know what all, what's going on. They never know why either he's politely asked to leave my house or leave me alone or whatever, or whatever the case. They don't never know what he has done, what all he has done, should I say? So, and then they just try to come save him. Don't look at me like Captain Save him. Gold digging. No. Yeah, he's definitely a gold digger. He's a gold digger, but he not. He don't dig too deep. Well, as far as I know now, I don't know. He might. Let me get my Q-tips popping off. But now she's looking like inspiration. She wanna be complimenting my swag. That was my song back in the day. Oh, excuse me. Woo. Lord have mercy. But yeah, so that was that. Brought up to speed with that or whatever. And by that point in time, I was already devastated with the things that he was doing. So I don't even feel like that pissed me off or whatever. And where to the point where, yeah, even her boldness of walking up in there, because me and her had already had some kind of interaction, and she was just like, oh, and and I guess it brought back that same feeling of where I did, oh girl or whatever, even though it was slightly different. But she had reached out to me on her own, and it was utilizing something that only he was supposed to have. Like, you was only supposed to have this type of access to me. Don't give nobody no access to me. And then when she was just like, oh, you better tell her or whatever what's going on or whatever. That boldness. And the thing is, I've already had that type of boldness before. So, and I was 15 years old. So it was like, damn, it's like a smack in the face where it's like coming back around. And this was at that time, shoot, what was this, 2018? So I'm I'm 35 now. That was what, 4 years ago. So I was like 30, 31 or something like that. Um, so that was 15, 16 years later after the fact. So that's why I'm just like, we can see something that appears very tragic, and it very well may be, but y'all don't know the details that went into that. And people be out here, like somebody said, y'all quick to mourn somebody, some strangers. Y'all love mourning strangers and stuff. Y'all don't even know, don't know if this person treated people a certain type of way or whatever in their life. You just don't know. I need to stop with that. But the Bible do say, mourn with those that mourn and stuff like that. But I just think a whole lot of the Bible is definitely taken out of context or whatever. But anywho, you're supposed to let God's Spirit bring that alive to you and interpret it to you and help you to understand how it's supposed to be applied. So anyway, yeah, that thing tried to smack me in the face or whatever, and you better let her know. Needless to say, he never let me know nothing that whatever he was talking. Well, he came over after that, like 2 weeks later. He didn't let me know nothing. Um, he didn't let me know anything. And like, even with that situation that I did back in the day, I'm not like with that dude. I'm not interacting with him. It's barely like I even know him. And we had that little time or whatever, and there was abusive stuff going on and all that. So it was bad. And I'm not sitting here wishing that thing. It was a point in time when I was wishing that things would get bad between them. And like, I don't give a damn, as long as my kid's not over there in the midst of it. But I don't wish nothing bad as far as them to, because honestly, that would be like my daughter's so-called dad sat back and was like, I can't wait for you and him to kill each other so I could just take my baby. And the thing about it is you left me alone and you went on about your business and then I went on and tried to go on about my business after that. So why would you feel like that about me if you know that you're not supposed to be dealing with me no more, or we ain't dealing with each other? Why would you still? You're just salty and bitter. And so I just try not to do, like, I'm not saying I'm learning from his example, but I don't try to sit around and, oh, I can't wait till this, that, and the third or whatever for this boy. I actually was feeling bad for him in that moment when I seen him, like, helping her put her stuff on. And then, even right after that, he was like, you don't need no man to help you. And so that's what I was getting to this point. I know it's taking me a while, but he was like, you don't need no man to do for you. And honey, yesterday I was still trying to help my sons. We was in the swimming pool. Well, my youngest son, we was in the swimming pool. I'm trying to help him get out the pool. And meanwhile, I'm hurting because I've been having some pains on my left side, like under my rib cage, since I had my daughter. Like I used to feel her foot up there in my rib cage. Like I can remember that thing like it was yesterday. I used to feel her foot. It was so uncomfortable, and I would try to push that foot out of my rib. Like she would just continue to kick me in my left rib. And so much so to where my left rib, it feel like it started poking out more than the other, or it just caused some type of permanent like dislocation. And so now, at times, if I lay on my left side too long, it hurts. It like makes me winded, and like it really starts pulling on some kind of muscle on the inside of my body that I don't even know what's going on, but it just hurts. And so yesterday I'm getting in the pool and I done gained all this weight, and so I'm trying to get on one of the float devices, and honey, without it tipping over, and it tipped over. And so me trying, just your natural reflex, even though I'm in water, I'm not gonna get hurt. I'm trying to save myself, and I ended up hurting myself so badly. And that's when I was like, oh God, it's not that I need a man to do for me, but I definitely need help, because I don't never be thinking that I'm gonna even be in that type of predicament, because I be so careful with myself. But that was a time when it just snuck up on me, where it's like I was trying to be careful with myself, but at the same time, I still was a bit um I don't want to say careless, but I was still like had a little mishaps, and maybe that little mishaps turned into something big. That thing hurt. It even still hurt thinking about the pain yesterday, but it even still kind of hurt. It's sore a little bit because it's like something. It's like a pinched nerve or something, but a big one. A pinched nerve and a pinched piece of skin or whatever, piece of fat or whatever, is pinching. Um, when this happened. Then you know how you get in the pool and you get Charlie horses and stuff. I was getting all of that because I haven't been stretching or nothing like that. So that's when I was like, oh shoot, no, I really need help. And then the moments where I be like, oh Lord, and I'm feeling desperate. Like at that moment, I would take help from anybody. But imagine me being that hurt and then and hurting something terrible, but it be him reaching out his hand to help me, and I'd be like, oh bitch, I'm not from you, not from you. It's funny, but man, the stuff that I went through with him, it was just like it changed my appearance, it changed everything. So I'm like, and throughout the years, I was trying to maintain my appearance and stuff like that. And honey, that appearance said, honey, you still look cute or whatever, but you did it, girl. And so, yeah, I'm just imagining. I'm not really imagining, but I'm thinking about if I was to imagine him reaching out, trying to help me or whatever. And I'm thinking about that because he said, yeah, you don't need a man to do for you. And I don't know what all he meant by that. Because he's like, what? Why do I need a man to do for me when we need to be teaming up and doing it together? What are you talking about? That's where it be missing me. But in that moment, I'm like, oh, shoot, now I need somebody to help me. But also, he seen me at one of them times where I was hurting like that. And that's when he started getting a little feelings or whatever, feeling like, see, like, other than that, he don't be taking stuff serious as far as I'm concerned. But one time we was in the bed, and yep, in this room right here, and out this bedroom and this bed, I was about to get on the bed. Well, I had been laying on my left side, and so when I got up, I felt that, and I had to lay back down. And he could tell that, oh, something is not right or whatever, something wrong. But he can easily forget as well, because when you step somewhere else and you go elsewhere, then I'm over here hurting myself or whatever, or feeling hurt, or I'm at least trying to let you know what's going on with me, but you off somewhere else. So it's like you're causing destruction. You're causing them allowing, and that's how I feel. I'm not looking at it as myself as like I did this to myself, in which in a sense I did because I didn't had a child with somebody that and I'm not saying the baby was demonic or anything, but I done had a child with a man, and the baby done kicked me in the rib, and I'm not even around. I'm not even with him no more. And now you gotta come and be here to help me sort through this or whatever. And so yeah, I look at it like that or whatever. But I was in some major pain, and I'm just like, man, it would really. My sons can't really help me because I'm too heavy for them to carry. What if I would have. Oof, I don't even want to think about it at this moment. But what if I would have had a cramp so bad that I just couldn't move and I drowned? Like, I'm just saying, what if? No, I don't see myself doing that or anything like that because after that happened, I'm definitely going to be careful if I get into the pool or that water or whatever. But having that pain like that, you're too busy focusing on the pain to be trying to save yourself as far as swimming or whatever. So, you don't have nobody there to help pull you out. And so, somebody, and just say that it did happen, and you come and find my dead body and be like, dang, that's tragic. She died like this or whatever. But all the stuff that I just mentioned could have very well been the thing that contributed to you up out of here. And I'm not trying to say it lightly, or I'm not trying to say it in a mean or a harsh way, but I'm just really saying, like, we really do need to look at the things that we do. I know a lot of people don't sit back and even have time to think that much or think that deep that, shoot, my actions could contribute to me shortening my lifespan and stuff like this later on in life. And a lot of it, I think God does give, and I believe God gives us grace because we don't be knowing better. But when you come into the knowing of knowing better, baby, you need to get your life. You need to make sure you seek Him to be able to stay in the center of His will, not even on the left, not even the right, but in the middle, where you protect it, and make sure that your actions are aligned and you are being obedient. Because one false move, you up out of here, or not even, you might not even be dead, but you in a predicament that you gonna have to be dependent on somebody else. And so I'm just thankful I'm not so, I did used to sing independent and stuff like that, but I'm at the point where somebody offer me some help, and I be hoping that it's not the wrong person or the wrong type of help. I want it. I need help. I acknowledge I need help. And so, I'm still wanting and waiting and trusting God to send forth my help, my helpers and stuff like that. But when He said that to me, you don't need no man to do for you. I'm sitting here, so it started to get my mind to thinking, so you over there because she needs somebody to help her put her damn jacket on. I was feeling the type of way, like, put her jacket on. And then back in the day, when I first had my youngest son, he was walking his so-called elderly grandma next door, and this is where they claimed I disrespected her because I pulled off on him, and then she told me she looked at him like, what did I do, or whatever, or something like that. I don't know what happened when I pulled off. And I told her, I went back and I told her, I said, that don't have nothing to do with you. Like, it really offended me that she tried to put herself in there. But now I look back and I'm like, I do understand, the concept of you walking her, because even though it might appear like she's okay, she might need the help or whatever just to walk next door. But I did feel like, why does it gotta be you? And she got a whole son. She got a whole two sons over there. She got a boyfriend. She got a baby daddy. At the time, they all was around her house. And the fact that I told him, I said, when I pull up, you need to be ready because I'm not feeling good. And so, spiritually, if I'm his wife or whatever, that means you still tied up with whatever your people got going on. That's the spiritual aspect. But of course, the natural aspect, well, both of them kind of mirror. You tied up doing something, and I was 5, 7. I'm gonna say I was like 7 minutes away. You had time to go ahead and be getting ready. In my eyes, in my opinion, you had time to go ahead and be getting ready. Anyway, they took that and said that I disrespected that mom. No, I didn't. Damn sure didn't. As far as could I have been more considerate, maybe. I'm gonna just say maybe. I'm not gonna say that I could have and should have. Maybe, but I don't know. Maybe she was just being, I'm not going to say that she was intentionally and deliberately. I don't think that she was on, knew that I was coming